Hey folks, today we've got kind of a unique build we got in the shop here. This one's made by Cybertron, and it seems like they sell on Amazon at least. They might even have their own website, but it's got some pretty interesting specs to boast about. So I wanted to give you some close-up looks of it, and we'll take a look at the chassis and everything here in just a little bit. But let's start out and take a look at the specs here on the computer itself. So you can see this one is configured with a Core i9 10th-gen 10850K clocking in at 3.6 gigahertz. And then check this out, it's got 64 gigs of RAM, so pretty decent there. And this one comes with Windows 11 Pro pre-installed. Now let's take a look at the device manager over here and just expand some of these so you can see what else it comes with. So as far as the disk drive, it's got a 1 terabyte SSD, then a second 1 terabyte SSD from Western Digital, and then a third more conventional 3.5-inch Western Digital, and this one's a 6 terabyte. So quite a bit of storage there. And then you've got the GeForce RTX 3080 graphics card, and that one's from Gigabyte, and I'll show you the details on that in just a second here. You can see the processor all expanded there for those interested in the network cards and all that on board. You can pause the video. Well, let's head over here to the graphics so we can get a little bit more information on the specs on that one. So you can see this one is the 3080 there, and it's got a dedicated 10 gigs of RAM on the graphics card. So pretty decent there. Not too bad. You can see what the hard drives look like, all separated, of course, there. 1 terabyte, 6 terabyte, 1 terabyte. So pretty interesting specs here, and then of course it has wireless in here. I'll show you it's got a external antenna on as well. Pretty decent reception there. But let's take a look at the actual chassis itself and kind of walk around it and show you some of the different features. So again, this one's made by Cybertron, or at least assembled and put together by Cybertron. So you can see the casing has CLX at the top there, and you can see it's all kind of a tempered glass along the front, and it's got kind of a V-notch going down both sides for ventilation there. And then it's got 3 of those RGB LED fans on it. This gap right here, you can see with my thumb in there, it's about a little bit wider than my thumb to give you a concept of the scale there. And then down at the bottom here, I'm just going to unplug these USBs so you can see better what's going on. Down at the bottom, you've got 2 high-speed USBs and then 2 regular USBs. Now on this particular build, they did not connect these slower speed USBs. So on the front, these are the only 2 that are active. And then you've got, of course, your standard audio jacks there. And then it looks like we've got an LED here. It's really hard to make out. It looks like it's probably just a power LED and your standard kind of hard drive LED there. And then it looks like it's got a brightness icon next to that one. So I'm going to push these and just see if it's doing anything. Don't really see a lot going on there, so they might not be wired into anything, but it looks like some kind of brightness thing maybe for the lighting. Of course, you get your power button there. It's got a little bit of a texture down there, and otherwise it's pretty plain down there. You got quite a bit of lighting going down the casing. You can see in addition to those fans, you've got kind of a strip that goes all the way up and then all the way across the top, and then you've got some backlighting on the actual brand right up there, the case. And kind of same story on this side. You've got that same strip of lighting going all the way across. And then the top of the casing is pretty much a mirror image of the front, just reversed. So it's extra wide up here with the tempered glass, and then goes all the way narrow to the back. This is that external Wi-Fi antenna I was talking about. Looks like they just put some adhesive and stuck it on top there so it wouldn't get lost. But you can see in here real good ventilation. It's got 2 more fans. You can see on the top there, 3 on the front there, and then 1 in the back. So quite a bit of ventilation going on here. And then one thing that I'll say, unless I'm living under a rock, I don't think I've ever seen this before, but having a hinged door on these glass panels, I've always thought that they're kind of clumsy on desktops, removing the little side panels. And this really solves that problem. The hinge seems pretty decent. It's not the thickest and largest, but it's heavy enough that it feels like it's adequate in supporting the tempered glass there. And what really impressed me is not only do you have it on this side, which by the way, there's some little magnets here along the perimeter, and that kind of keeps it shut when you're shutting against the case. But they also put that same glass panel over here on this side. The only thing that I think could be executed just a little bit better is to open it up. You just have to reach under here and pull on it. You know, I don't know if you want to put a knob on here or something else, but that would be the only thing where it's just a little bit hard to get your fingers under here, at least mine, having larger fingers to get them down in there. But just check that out, how they've got that on both sides. Makes this just a whole lot easier to get access to. Doesn't feel clumsy at all. But while we're back here, you can take a look at the back side there and where all the RGB connects together there. Looks like from Corsair. And you can see it's got some basic cable management going on here with the little pockets and the flaps there to keep everything looking nice and neat. And then while we're on this side, I'll just let you take a little peek down here. If you can see, that's where that 3.5-inch hard drive is. Right down there, you can see the tip of the SATA connectors. And then you can get a little bit of an idea of the power supply there. So this one's the AG850M. All right, so that's that side. Let's take a look at the more interesting side. And I think the only other thing I'd say on these doors, you'll notice how it's not really closing very smoothly. And what's happened is I think the whole chassis itself has ever so slightly been tweaked, such that you can see I kind of have to press down on the glass to get it to clear that trim bezel. So maybe they could have left a little bit more of a tolerance perhaps on that. You can see here on the side I'm having to do the same thing, but I still think it's a pretty neat idea to have there. And again, to open it, you just put your finger down at the bottom, pull, and that releases the magnets. So let's take a look inside here. So we've got an ASRock motherboard. You can see, of course, there. Let me take the brightness down just a little bit. There we go. Well, you can see with the contrast with all those LEDs lit up what it looks like a little bit better there. You can see it does have the liquid cooling there from Corsair. And then just a really nice big radiator in the front here with all those fans cooling it down. You can see the RAM sticks there with the RGB all lit up. And then you've got your Gigabyte GeForce RTX 3080 card there. And for those curious on the specific variant there, you can pause the video. It's a close-up of it. But pretty clean looking in here. You know, the cable management looks pretty nice, the way everything's tucked away. Like I said, a lot of ventilation going on here. And then let me see if I can show you down below. It's pretty dark down here, but let me see if I can get a closer shot. Down below the graphics card in the PCI slot down here is one of those SSDs. And so it's a really high-speed SSD from what I understand, and really high performance. So that's kind of nice that that's tucked in down there for you. And then you do still have, it looks like, one smaller PCI slot, and that is it down there. You can see also the other SSD on the motherboard itself, the Patriot. And then of course here's kind of a top view looking at that conventional hard drive through the honeycomb there. So really, you know, I mean, it's a pretty typical looking case inside, but there's not a whole lot to complain about. I mean, everything's well laid out, very nice and clean, decent cooling in here. So a lot to like for sure. Well, let's take a look at the back and look at the ports and such on this particular motherboard. Got a little bit of a squeak on that hinge there. So you can see on the back, another RGB LED fan there. It's pretty nice. And then here are the standard ports that are going to come with that ASRock motherboard. You can see you've got some regular USBs up top, PS2 port, HDMI, your Wi-Fi antenna there, and then you've got, looks like 1, 2, 3 high-speed USB down here, and then one USB-C port. It's kind of tucked off to the left there. And you got your onboard audio, of course, there, and then the back of your graphics card. So you've got 1, 2, looks like 2 display ports and 2 HDMIs on the back, the way it's configured here. And then you also do have some more expansions on the chassis here that you can make use of if you needed to do so there. Then at the very bottom, you can see the power supply and what that looks like. It does have its own independent switch if you wanted to use that instead of the one on the front there. For those interested in the model of this configuration, again, it's put together by Cybertron. You can see all that there, the configuration, the custom there, and all that good stuff. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said, it's kind of a unique build, and I don't know that we've ever had one in the shop from Cybertron before. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the build. Is there anything that you would spec differently with this particular configuration? What do you like about this particular setup here, the way it was put together by Cybertron? What are some components that you don't like that you would change out if you were to purchase this particular desktop? But we will be putting it up for sale here probably later today. And so if you're interested in a system like this, definitely check out our website at jbrokers.com. We are a secondhand, risk-free marketplace. We're a great alternative if you're looking to sell something and you don't want to mess with the risk and hassle of a site like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, where you're getting low bids and offers that really are scam and phishing and all that. So it's a great alternative where you're going to get a fixed amount in your pocket. We always pay our customers on the next business day after receipt, rain or shine. And so our customers absolutely love that. And then second, we always pay the agreed upon amount for the agreed upon item. No bait and switch gimmicks ever, period. So definitely check us out at jbrokers.com. Again, that's JAYbrokers.com. Thanks for watching.